All right, Alison, thanks so much for jumping on today to share about your experience, and as we were just talking a bit offline, your milestones as well. Whilst being in the program have been super impressive. You've been an amazing person to watch in terms of taking information, running with it, taking the action, and as we'll probably talk about, dealing with some challenges that is business and life, let's call it, but also, coming back bigger and better from those circumstances as well. But, coming off your very first 10K month last month, which is an incredible milestone in and of itself, and we'll work up to how you specifically got there. But in the initial stages of this conversation, I'd love to just hear about you, a little bit of an introduction, what your business does, and where you were before we met. That'd be great.
Thanks, Will. It is my ultimate pleasure to be here, and upfront, thank you so much for running a really wonderful program. Before I came to you, I had been running my business, Feed for Thought, for just shy of 5 years. So commercial for just shy of 5 years, and doing R&D for 2 years before that. So I'd been going for a while, and I was really proud of the business. It's a dog food, which is a very busy market, but dog food with a bit of a difference, and that the only source of protein is insect protein. And the reason that's remarkable is because it is really great for dogs with allergies, as it's something they've never come across before, so unlikely to react to. So if your dog's got a protein allergy, then it's really great. But it's also got about a quarter of the environmental footprint of traditional meat proteins, and so that really resonated with me. I just spent 10 years working in the polar regions, so the Arctic and the Antarctic, and had seen this changing, the beautiful, pristine place on this planet changing because of the choices we were making. And so I wanted to do something about it, and decided to start a small insect farm just to have a look at this new and emerging protein, because it was both a really sustainable protein, but also a way to deal with a waste problem, because the insects eat food that would otherwise go to landfill. So they upcycle food and turn it into more food. So as I had this insect farm, I take my dog along, and he kept on eating the insects that I was processing. I was air drying them, and he would eat them all the time. And I thought, oh, he really, really likes them. So I did a bit more research with a vet who's now my business partner. And we discovered that the black soldier fly larvae is a really great protein source for dogs. Super nutritious, has a lot of amino acids that just do really well for them. So we weren't the first. There was some European startups that were making dog food out of insect protein. So we again just did a bit more research and decided to do the same in Australia. So we were Australia's first insect protein dog food. And yeah, we R&D'd that for about 2 years, and then released our formula. And as much as I am still so proud of what we've done, and really stand behind it, it was a hard market to get into. Hard because, like I said, it's a busy market, dominated by huge multinational companies. So it's a real David and Goliath battle there.
Mm.
And without the massive marketing budget, I wasn't making traction. So I came to you, and I wish I'd done it much sooner, but I came to you really knowing that I was sort of having a make or break here. I could either start seeing some traction, or I'd have to consider letting it go, which was a devastating thought. Just how much of my savings I poured into it, and how much of my heart and energy I've poured into it. So yeah, I was sort of I was desperate. And I'd seen a bunch of other programs, and I'd done one other one that didn't really help. So I was almost rudely skeptical, I think, when I met
Yeah.
with you and your team. And I didn't like, I hope I didn't come across rude, but I was like, nah, I don't think he can do this. But your ad targeted being great, and so I was interested enough to have the conversation. So apology if I was rude. But
No, no, not at all. It obviously worked out. And look, I think that's honestly just relatable for people, and I'm happy to admit that. And a lot of people I obviously speak to prior to coming to the program, they tell me that there's a lot of options out there, and it is honestly hard to differentiate people from the other without being on the inside. I totally, acknowledge that. And so for you to say that and for other people to hear that is valuable, right? That it's not just
Yeah.
them thinking that everybody's kind of going through the same thing. What would you sort of say then gave you the confidence to jump in, or what kind of separated, do you think, the Ecom Blueprint from others that you had either tried or looked at before? Like, what was it that really got you over the line, do you think, in jumping in?
You made a comment, and it was probably just met me where I was at, and it was quite direct. And
Mhm.
you asked me what I was doing in terms of email marketing and ads and a bunch of other things. I said, yes, I'm doing all of those things. I'm doing them. He goes, yet they're not working. And I was like, no, they're not. Um, and and that's what really got me over the line because I knew I was doing the things, but not in a way that was working. And you said you could show me how to just tweak every single part that I was doing. And that, to be fair, they were pretty big tweaks. Um, to do them in a way that converts at a pace that my business needed. So it was that. It was like the reassurance that I was doing everything that I should be doing, but I wasn't doing it in the best way.
Yeah.
And you said you could help.
I think that's really well put. And I think that, what jogs, my memory, or what comes to mind when you say that is certainly around the specificity, right, of let's call it advice and tailored strategy, because this is where people do get a bit caught out in, call it mass programs, or even just, we talk about YouTube University. And I'm a full believer of the information is out there and people can do the stuff, right? But the devil is in the details. And as you talked about very, very clearly there, it was like it was something about the email, or something about the ads, or something about my website specifically for me, based on my stage, that needed to be tweaked, that you can't get from those two sources I just mentioned. And so that's it's really great for you to mention that, because a lot of people, either consciously or subconsciously, that's where they get the value for the program. And still why I pride the Ecom Blueprint on being so boutique, and having the ability to have that direct customized support is everything, honestly. Like, we could fill this program with 1,000 people, but that's like honestly the last thing I want. A, for the relationships, but B, honestly, just for the results.
Yeah.
Because I believe, and through my obviously experience, 13, 14 years in e-commerce, it's not the complex shiny objects. It is the fundamentals done really, really well, and then over a consistent amount of time, as we obviously tweak things along the way, as we obviously grow and scale. So yeah, it's really cool that you've been able to recognize that and articulate. It's like, cool, I've been doing the right things, but like bashing your head against the wall and feeling like you're getting towards the end, where it's like, well, hang on, if we have a look at it this way, or change something a little bit this way, then we get a breakthrough, which obviously you've had, which is fantastic.
I think
Um,
the word blueprint is helpful there too, Will, because I
sure.
knew when you said, yeah, we've just got to change a bit of everything, that felt overwhelming. I was like, well, I
Mm,
don't even know where to start. But you did have like a step by step, and you just have to work through those steps that
mm.
were I was able to tailor to where I was at. So that was helpful because otherwise it does just feel overwhelming.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're entirely right. Exactly right. Like, just to be able to have tunnel vision, one, two, three, four, five. Don't get distracted of anything outside of that. It's just, let's tick these boxes, and that's progress. And I think, as I said before, what I've admired a lot about you is your speed to action, and your thirst for feedback and getting back data, and making sure they're on track. And they're the people that get dramatic results, because they're just got their finger on the pulse, and they're urgent to take the actions. And then obviously the results come when they come, but we obviously expedite that by just having full focus on what we're supposed to do in that moment, and then obviously taking the action to do so, and analyzing obviously as we go. But from a strategic perspective for you specifically, like, what was it that really moved the needle? Coming off that 10K month, even last November was fantastic through Black Friday and things. But what was it specifically, if you're like, okay, that really, really helped from a strategic perspective? Do you remember what it was, whether it was ads or emails or site, or what do you put it down to?
I think the biggest impact was, I think, email marketing.
Mm,
Um, just the structure that you laid out. I was doing email marketing, but it wasn't
mm,
effective. So the structure you laid out has been helpful. Like it's just, I had a very small email base and now I know how to grow it. But how to get the most out of even the small database that I've got. So that's probably the biggest impact, closely followed by ads. I was doing ads, and gosh, they're soul destroying sometimes.
yeah,
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 they're, but they're working a lot better now. Yeah, I'm getting more returns from it. I'm seeing better click-through rates, and all of the figures. And I know how to analyze the figures now too. So they're all improving dramatically. So that I think they're the two biggest things. Oh, and the community as well.
Yeah. Oh.
I again was skeptical about the
Mm,
community,
mm.
but your program has some really talented people in it who have a bunch of experience. And so I was surprised that they're still in the program because they seem to be doing really well.
Mm.
But they give really good advice. And so jumping on those calls has been really, really valuable. I've just gotten great ideas.
Yeah, yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I often sort of humble myself and say, look, I'm sure I created it. I'm the facilitator, but the community and the program really have a lifeblood of its own, honestly. And yeah, a few people I think you're referencing, they renew and they stay on and they just love sharing their experience and wisdom as well. And they're, as you say, successful in their own right, just coming through the ranks, and they just feel like they should sort of pay things forward, which is amazing. And I think just on the community piece as well, that you know, because it's a tight-knit community, people have, well, they know each other. They see the same, few people on the calls in the community, responding and things like that. And then they know the full journey of when people have challenges or when they're obviously winning as well. And so they can fully appreciate when things go really well and just be fully supportive. I don't see any egos or envy in this community. It's full just wholehearted happiness for when people have succeed
Yeah.
and wins like yourself, and it's reciprocal, right? I mean, I'm sure you're exactly the same. Like, having received so much value, you're such a giver as well with anything that you, such as this call, for example, just with your experience and what was beneficial for you. And I think that that's such a big power of the community as well, which is awesome. And so, in terms of other things apart from the community, obviously the program, what else was really valuable for you? Was it more just about the step-by-step strategy? Was it the content material? What was it specifically? Would you think that you've enjoyed or got a lot of value from as well?
The content is it's got both videos and written handouts, and I find that really good. So as you know, you do the walkthroughs with the video. So I sit there and pause. Okay, I've got that step. Next step.
Mm,
But then when you're sort of just reviewing it for the second time, you have to watch the video because there's notes there as well. So that's been really good. And I think the other massive, massive help has been understanding sales and growing database. So how to make sort of a system and a process out of that so it's not as haphazard. I mean, I still haven't planned as much ahead as what I would love to, but I understand what that means to have a sale and how it all ties into emails and social media. And not just I'm not guessing anymore. There's a strategy.
mm,
And I really appreciate that because, as you said, there's the University of YouTube, and I was heavily into it and thought I could really make it work from that. But there's so much information out there, and it's all, it's not as coherent as here's a strategy, and here it works, and I can see that it works now. So
mm.
yeah, the having the sales strategy was probably really valuable too.
Yeah, that's all. And I'm glad you brought that up too, because oftentimes we have blind spots as the business owner. So like we actually don't know what to look for. It's great if you know what to look for without these other resources, but if you just literally don't know, then obviously it's basically impossible to find it. You're not just going to have some magical, epiphany one day. So yeah, I totally agree. Just having that support of being like, cool, this is what you need to do, and there's the strategy attached, and off you go. Then that's an amazing part of it too. So look, just one final thing. I mean, being where you are now, hitting that first 10K month, there's so much more to come. I know that. I'm very excited for your future as well. But being on the side now and having, I guess, the wisdom and experience for the last kind of 6 months, like what would you sort of say to people who are, where you were, where you're at that kind of crossroads and having worked at it for years on end, trying to figure things out yourself. What would you sort of say to people that are at that point now and I guess what they should, do next?
I would say you're not alone and you don't have to try and do it alone. I think that first and foremost. And secondly, that there's no judgment in not knowing what you don't know, I think. And it is nothing but empowering to go and get that coaching and get that advice and help you find those blind spots and put together a system that will work. So they're the things I'd say.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, I think that's exactly right. And I probably took me 5 or 6 or 7 years to figure the same thing out as well. That it's just like, just give me, there's people out there that have done what you want to do, still at my stage, investing in myself and my business. Like I want to be up there. So being able to find those people that you resonate with and you know that you have the best chance they're going to help you is absolute key. I reckon that's the shortcut to life, I reckon. So no,
Yeah,
thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And look, thanks for this discussion. I know it's going to be valuable for people to see. And congratulations, of course, on the first 10K month. And as I say, there's more to come. We're just warming up now. We're getting the
so
momentum
much more.
rolling. So, lots of exciting things to come. Thank you so much for sharing that. I really appreciate it. And yeah, looking forward to the next stage.
Thanks, Will.
Cool.